everybody. Today we're going to go over a hip flexor exercise to combat some of the sitting and the box life living that we tend to do in society these days. We tend to sit a lot, so I'm going to give you an exercise using the principles of FRC, which essentially is not only acquiring new range at the front of the hip and the hip flexor, but helping the nervous system to deliberately use that range of motion. So if you apply this before your workouts, it's going to help you to become a little bit more open in the front of the hip, obviously, but also a little bit stronger as you do it. So to start, we're going to start in sorry you can't see my head, but we're going to start in a 90-degree position. So the base of the hip is going to be directly underneath the knee, and then we're going to do the same with the front leg. So both my legs, as you can see, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. You can use a little bit of a dowel here or a table, something to hold on to so that you can irradiate with a little bit more tension and stability into during the exercise, but also for balance as well if you need. So we're going to start here. First thing I'm going to have you think about, we're going to think about tucking the pelvis under a little bit. So you're going to posteriorly tilt the pelvis slightly. You're going to brace the abs here, and I want you to think about getting your rib cage kind of centered on top of the hip. From here, we're going to dig the back toes into the floor. If you need a little padding underneath the knee, please get that now, as you're going to be here for a fairly long time. So I'm going to give you the exercise on one leg, but obviously you're going to apply the exercise to both legs. So here we go. We're going to start by sort of scooping the tailbone under, starting to generate a little tension in the midsection, and I want you to ramp up some tension here, maybe to about 60% of your kind of max effort that you can give. You're going to tuck the bum under, we're going to contract the glute, and we're going to lean into the front of the leg, but I want you to think about leading with your back hip forward. So we're not just dumping ourselves forward here, we're going to tuck the bum under and we're going to lead with the back hip, so you acquire a little bit of a stretch in the front of the hip there. So once you've acquired that stretch, you're going to be breathing here in and out through the nose, nice and slow, for about 2 minutes. So I'm going to have you just take a few more breaths, try to get into that position there, trying to get a little bit of a stretch on the front of the hip. And then from here, we're just going to breathe and sink, tuck the bum, keep an active glute. You're radiating about 60%, and you're just taking a few breaths here to kind of romance the nervous system before we come in and do some work here. So now from here, you're going to start to contract the glute a little bit more. I'm going to have you take that irradiation up to about 70%. Then from here, I want you to think about pressing your knee into the floor as if you're standing up using that knee, but you're not actually going to stand up. You're just going to think about getting taller from the base of the knee all the way up to the hip. So from here, we're ramping up to about 80%, 90%, and now you're going 100% of your max effort. You're just really squeezing and creating as much tension in this 90-degree position as you can. And we're going to hold and maintain that position for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now from here, I want you to keep that tension, keep everything the same, and we're going to try and passively lift the heel up off the floor, maintaining a stretch on the front of the hip, and we're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we're setting the back foot down. I'm going to have you tuck the pelvis under a little bit more if you can. Lean into the front of your leg. Take 2 long breaths in through the nose and out through the nose here. So we're just kind of relaxing into that newly acquired range, and then we're going to start to ramp up again with the form of irradiation. So now from here, you're going to brace the abs. We're going to start pressing the knee into the floor slightly. We're tucking the bum under a little bit more. We're bracing the abs a little bit more. Now from here, you're going to to start even scissoring the front heel towards your back knee. So you're thinking about creating as much tension here as you can, and you're holding max irradiation now for 5, really squeezing, getting a stretch on the front of the hip, maybe even into the quad, holding there for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to try and passively lift the back foot up off the floor and hold and squeeze here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Setting the back foot down, take an inhale here, tuck the bum under, see if you can lean into that range a little bit more. So you're just taking 2 more breaths in here, and we're going to do 1 more little progressive overload on this front hip flexor in the form of irradiation. So now we're starting to ramp up. 60 to 70% of your effort, 70 to 80% of your effort, 80 to 90% of your effort. Now you're holding, scissoring tension in, abs are on, you're pushing into the bench or whatever you're holding on to, and squeezing, holding, getting a good stretch here, activating the glute. 3, 2, now I want you to passively grab the back foot here if you can, and you're going to try and lift passively that heel right up towards your butt without losing that glute. Now from here, we're going to slowly let the hand go, passive range lift off. You're going to flex the heel, try to activate the hamstring, and hold for 5, 4, squeezing in that passive range, really activating and working here. 3, 2, set the back foot down slowly, inhale here, tuck the bum, exhale, see if you can sink into that front leg, and just take a few slow inhales here for me, exhaling nice and slow. So I'm never dumping out of that position in order to get the stretch. I'm always keeping that active position on the back of the glute. And then you're slowly going to come out of that and just replay this to set up on the other side in that 90-degree position there. So there you guys go, little hip flexor stretch to acquire more range in that hip. Good luck. See ya.